All right, good morning, good morning. I hope you're well, wherever you are, over the time we're back. It is one day after I put out the show day vlog, so I hope you enjoyed that. Today, in today's daily vlog, I wanted to give you a bit of an update in terms of what's going to be next for my 2025 season. Whilst I make meal number one, I'm just about to head to the gym. It's my first session back since this show, which is going to be a leg session. And it's also going to be the first time that I'm going to be training legs at pretty much full tilt. One, since the show, and two, since I had that knee issue. That feels like a distant memory where I genuinely couldn't walk properly. If you go back to the peak week I'm injured video, I was literally walking like this. But the knee feels good, and I think I'm ready to get after it, to be honest with you. But plan with food as well is it's going to be higher food. So across this next week, about 7 to 10 days, I'm going to be taking a diet break. So that's going to involve me eating higher food. I'm still going to keep my expenditure in a good place, but I am going to be eating higher food. One, because I also want to see how much more I can push fullness. Looking, maybe to some people, they probably looked at that overall photo and thought I was really full, but I actually wasn't at the fullest I could have been, annoyingly. Obviously, the class win was seriously flat. It was really flat. I'll actually put up a comparison photo just to show you the difference between the overall and the class win. And even if you don't know bodybuilding or watch bodybuilding, you'll be able to tell that I'm very flat in that class win. Overall, it was definitely better because I had a little bit more food, and I also, well, a decent amount more food, and I also managed to get a pump as well backstage. But I know I can push fullness even more. Adam and Opio also mentioned, Jay, you can definitely see if you can push some more fullness. So that's what I'm going to be doing over this diet break. This morning I was already fuller and the look is already really good. And to be honest, the plan of action, as I said in the show day vlog, will be, for the next show, will be just to push that fullness hard. I want to be massive on stage. I think because of my height, if I'm flat, I'll just get punished by someone who's just ever so shorter than me. It also makes a huge difference to my legs if I'm full. If I'm really flat, my legs can easily end up looking quite stringy. It's not that I don't have muscle on my legs, just because they're so long. If I'm flat, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. Yeah, we're looking to come in big for the next one. Also, with this diet break, it's going to involve a couple of free meals. I'm actually going to go get a pizza with Bryony tomorrow because the condition I'm in, I'm pretty much there in terms of condition. So yeah, that's the game plan in terms of food. Steps will stay the same, and training, I'm just back to my normal split, which is legs, push, rest, legs, pull, rest, repeat. So yeah, this meal is going to be the good old ground rice meal before we train. Once it's all ready, I'll give you a bit of an update as to what I plan to do for the rest of the season in terms of shows. Also, shout out to all the other competitors that were in the overall as well. I didn't really say much on that in the previous video, but honestly, every single person that was in that overall was incredibly good, and it's been great to reach out to people on social media. And yeah, there was actually it was a junior, I think, crazy physique, like 19 years old. Absolutely ridiculous physique. Bubbly, round, amazing. The classic tall guy, obviously incredibly good. Short classic as well. Great poser, as I said on the last video. Yeah, all in all, like just a great bunch of competitors, really good physiques. So yeah, and honestly, that show day experience was amazing. I definitely want to do more PCA shows. It's also it's also the first time ever for a show day where I didn't have a headache. I always get headaches on show days. And when I say headaches, I mean really bad. Horrible migraines. And I think probably because the days end up being so long, I don't know, maybe it's a tan as well. I obviously used a different tan for this PCA show. But yeah, I end up getting the worst headaches on show days. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to make this meal and then I'll sit down and have a chat with you. So we have the pre-workout meal one of the day, which is 125 grams of ground rice, 30 grams of whey, 20 grams of almond butter, 15 grams of raisins, one bagel thin with 20 grams of jam. I briefly touched upon the next show, which will be on the 6th of September, which is going to be the BMBF Northern Show, which is literally around the corner. Ideal 20-minute drive to the venue. So that's just a huge stress relief. If you compete, you know, I feel like just traveling is I don't know, it's just a stressful experience. It's something else that you got to think about. So that's the next one. That is essentially going to be a qualifier for me to then do, or a regional show, for me to then do a DFAC Pro qualifier. Now, I'm not going to be doing the BMBF finals in the UK, but I am planning to do the FCFN finals in Italy, because one of my goals for this year was to compete internationally. I want to be able to travel abroad and also compete and experience competing in another culture. So we'll be competing in Italy if I manage to qualify for that show. And if I obviously do well in that show in Italy, I can then win my DFAC Pro card. One of the reasons that I wanted to do or not do the British finals for the BMBF in the UK is because the PCA finals are on the same day as the BMBF finals, and I'll be doing the PCA finals 100%, which will then obviously give me the opportunity to win the PCA Pro card, which I think will be epic. I don't know if they also have a pro show going on that day as well. If they do, I will likely do that because that would be awesome. I think I stand a pretty good chance in the PCA in that tall class to be able to get that pro card, but that's something that I'm definitely chasing. Just having pro status this season basically is my main goal. And that's really what I'm just looking at now, is just becoming a pro. And I think why I'm so happy about that first show is because I think it showed me you have the ability to get there. You have the ability to do it. You are at that standard. And yeah, it was very relieving for that to happen. Anyway, yeah, so BMBF Northern in Manchester. I'll be in the heavyweight class, I imagine, and I'll also be chasing a lot more fullness. A lot more fullness, hella more fullness. I'll be pumped. I need to be big. The condition will be there. I'll essentially, after these 10 days, drop back down to my baseline diet, which has been working for months at this point. I haven't needed to change it at all because it just pulls me down so hard and it's got me in shape. So it's not going to be changed, but once I've had this diet break, I'll get back to pushing. For the next maybe 2.5 weeks, that'll probably bring me back down to around the 93s. And then it's a case of just pushing the fullness a lot more for a decent amount of time. I'll probably start feeding up earlier on in the week. So maybe start Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then slowly taper down if I need to, but push that fullness hard. But yeah, that's for that show. Once I've done the BMBF, I'll then be doing the WMBF show, which will be also my first time doing a WMBF show. And oh, you got to dip the bagel in the ground rice. Oh, fantastic. Just give me a moment. My my first WMBF show. The WMBF has got to be probably the most prestigious natural federation. And that show is just a pro qualifier straight out the gate. What's also interesting about that show is Adam is also doing it, right? So if we both make it to the overall, if I make it to the overall, I know that Adam will likely get to the overall. He's going to be competing in the amateur class because he hasn't got his WMBF pro card yet. And I will predict that he gets to the overall. If I make it to the overall, that'd be a pleasure, and I think it'd be really cool if we're both on stage, standing next to each other. But the opportunity for a pro card is there at the WMBF, and I think that again would be incredible. So that's the next one. That's going to be in Dunstable. I'll actually be staying at a family home for that one. So again, travel won't be too much of a concern. It's just getting back down south initially, but I'll give myself plenty of time. And then after that, so the week after that will be Italy. It'll be in Bologna. B and myself will be going. So we'll get a flight on the 18th. So 5 days after the WMBF show. And the competition's on the 20th. We'll fly back on the 22nd. So we'll enjoy Italy a little bit once the show's done. And then it's the PCA finals on the 28th. And really that's my contest season. I feel like it depends how I feel, and it also depends on funds, because that's a lot of shows, right? And they're not free. Like, you don't just show up and compete. Like, it costs money, and it's a lot of travel. So we'll see how I feel, but likely that would be my last show on the 28th of September. I would really love to do the MBW International, and especially if I'm a pro by that point, that'd be really cool. But Bryony's got her powerlifting competition in October, mid-October, and I do almost want to be done with competing by that point and put some focus onto her competitive season. So, but yeah, that's the plans. So this is going to be one video today, and then tomorrow, the next video is going to be my leg session from today. So I'm going to get that filmed. Appreciate you watching. Make sure you like the video, and I'll see you for the next one.